Bennet, I have been walking for some time in the hope of meeting you. Will you do me the honor of giving me 5 minutes of your time?
I cannot believe, sir, that we have anything left to say to each other.
You may have nothing left to say to me, but there are certain matters which I intend making known to you. Out of justice, I demand your attention.
As you wish, sir.
Then, may we enter the parsonage. Miss Elizabeth, 2 offenses of a very different nature you have laid to my charge. The first was that I detached Mr. Bingley from your sister.
Do you deny that you did so?
I'd often seen Bingley in love before, but I had not long been in Hertfordshire before I perceived that his partiality for Miss Bennet was beyond what I had ever witnessed in him. Your sister, though she received his attentions with pleasure, did not invite them by any participation of sentiment.
My sister is ever too modest in temperament, too correct in behavior to wear her heart on her sleeve.
The propriety of your sister's behavior and of your own is more than outbalanced, however, by certain other factors. The situation of your mother's family and the wild behavior of your younger sisters, to name but 2. Forgive me, it pains me to offend you, but they must be pointed out.
It may pain you to offend me, but it does not make you stop.
I therefore engaged in the office of pointing out to my friend the certain evils of his choice. If I have caused your sister pain, I'm truly sorry for it. The second offense of which I am accused is that I ruined the prospects of Mr. Wickham. I can only refute this by laying before you the whole of his connection with my family. My father supported him at school and afterwards at Cambridge, hoping the church would be his profession.
This much I know. So far, we agree.
My excellent father died 5 years ago, and his attachment to Mr. Wickham was so steady that in his will he desired that a valuable family living might be his as soon as it became vacant. Mr. Wickham wrote to me, informing me that he did not intend to take orders, but resolved instead to study the law. He resigned all claim to assistance in the church and accepted in return the sum of £3,000. For about 3 years I heard little of him, save that his studying the law was a mere pretense, and that his life one of idleness and dissipation.
That cannot be.
On the decease of the incumbent of the living, which had been designed for him, he applied to me again for the presentation. I knew that Mr. Wickham, with his vicious and idle propensities, should not be a clergyman.
Idle, perhaps, but vicious, I cannot agree.
I must mention a circumstance which I am reluctant to unfold to any human being. My sister, who is more than 10 years my junior, went last summer to Ramsgate. Thither also went Mr. Wickham, and he so far recommended himself to Georgina that she was persuaded to believe herself in love and to consent to an elopement.
Your sister, of whom everyone speaks so highly.
She was less than 16 at the time. No one can blame her for her lack of judgment. Mr. Wickham's chief object was undoubtedly my sister's fortune, which is £30,000. But I cannot help supposing that the hope of revenging himself on me was a strong inducement. Happily, Georgina acknowledged the whole to me. You can imagine how I felt and how I acted. I wrote to Mr. Wickham, who left the place immediately, and whom I did not see again until he arrived last year in Hertfordshire. I have said what I have to say, and I ask you to consider it without prejudice. I will only add, God bless you.
Welcome home, Jane. Ah. Oh, Lizzie, I'm glad that you've come back.
Jane, child, did you see Mr. Bingley and his sisters in London?
No, ma'am. I beg you not to mention it. Although it is all past and forgotten, it still pains me a little.
Ah, well, I'm happy to see you in undiminished beauty, anyway. I shall find you an establishment soon enough.
Jane, did you find any pleasant men?
Have you had any flirting?
I was in great hopes that one of you would have got a husband before you came home.
I declare Jane will be quite an old maid soon. She's almost 23.
Good Lord, how ashamed I should be of not being married before 23. Lord, how I should like to be married before any of you, and then I would chaperone you about to all the balls.
You see, Lizzie, your younger sisters are as silly as ever.
Why do we not all walk into Meryton this afternoon and see how everyone goes on?
Mr. Wickham is there.
He is quite our favourite now.
And Colonel Forster. He's married now, you know. Mrs. Forster's only 17.
If you don't make haste, Lizzie, you will not see them anymore. The Loamshire are leaving in a fortnight.
More's the pity.
Are they indeed? I'm delighted to hear it.
Lizzie, how can you be so unfeeling?
They are going to be encamped near Brighton all summer, and just imagine, I am going to stay there with Colonel and Mrs. Forster.
Mamma, is this true? Are you going to permit this?
Oh, a little sea bathing will set her up forever.
Does Papa know?
Well, certainly he does. He's happy to give his blessing.
Ah, Lizzie.
Papa, is it true that Lydia is to go to Brighton with the Fosters?
Lydia will never be easy until she's exposed herself in some public place or other. And we can never expect her to do it at so little expense as under the present circumstances.
Sir, I beg you not to allow her to go. If you were aware of the disadvantage to us all which must arise from Lydia's imprudent and unguarded manner, I'm sure you would judge differently in the affair.
What, has she frightened away some of your lovers? Oh, my poor little Lizzie. Come, show me a list of the pitiful fellows who've been kept aloof by Lydia's folly.
My dear father, if you do not take the trouble of checking her exuberant spirits, she will at 16 be the most determined flirt who ever made herself and her family ridiculous.
Don't make yourself uneasy, my love. The officers will find women better worth their notice, and we'll never have any peace at Longbourn if she doesn't go to Brighton. And luckily, she's too poor to be an object of prey to anyone.
Lizzie, dear, I'm quite parched.
Unlucky in cards, Mr. Wickham, but perhaps lucky in love.
Will you join us in another hand?
I think not, if you will excuse me.
Will you join us, Captain?
Can I assist you? How long was Mr. Darcy at Rosings?
Nearly 3 weeks.
And you saw him frequently?
Yes, Mr. Wickham, almost every day.
Did you find his manner as repulsive as ever?
I think Mr. Darcy improves on acquaintance.
Indeed. Has he deigned to add aught of civility to his ordinary style? For I dare not hope he has improved in essentials.
No, in essentials, I believe he is very much what he ever was.
Of course, Mr. Darcy would adopt a conciliatory manner in the presence of his aunt, Lady Catherine, of whose good opinion and judgment he stands much in awe. A good deal is to be imputed to his wish of forwarding his match with Miss de Bourgh. You know, of course, Mr. Darcy wishes to marry Miss de Bourgh.
Really? Of that I have no evidence.
Ah, Mr. Wickham, thank you. This is a sorry occasion. Meryton will not seem the same without the Loamshire.
Thank you, ma'am, for the generous expression of that sentiment.
I do not know what the young people of Hertfordshire will do with themselves this summer. Not that it is any concern of mine. My daughter, my dear Charlotte, is already settled.
And most respectably so, ma'am.
How the other young women will go on, I cannot conceive. Elizabeth, how will your family do now that the Loamshire is removed?
We shall do very well, ma'am, as we always have. Unless by some malicious arrangement the War Office should send us another regiment.
But you will be very dull without us, Miss Elizabeth. Confess it.
I shall not be down in the least. I'm invited on a tour of the north with my uncle and aunt. We go first to Derbyshire. I look forward to seeing the place of your birth, Mr. Wickham, and to forming my own judgment of your reputation.
My dear, this is the road to Pemberley.
Do let us see it. My dear, should you not love to see a place of which you've heard so much?
Dear aunt, I have no great inclination to see it. We've traveled far and you must be fatigued. I own for myself, I'm a little tired of seeing great houses, for we've seen so many.
You tired, Lizzie? That I cannot believe. Out of spirits, possibly.
My dear, a visit to Pemberley will restore you immediately. The grounds are delightful, and they've some of the finest woods in the country.
Come along, my dears. We're keeping Mrs. Reynolds waiting.
I must say, I really am nervous to be in such a beautiful house.
The late Mr. Darcy was very fond of the picture gallery, and for that reason the portraits are hung just as they used to be when he was alive. God rest his soul.
The proportions are admirable.
The furnishing's elegant.
Is your master still absent from Pemberley?
Yes, sir, but we expect him tomorrow with a large party of friends.
Dear Elizabeth, do observe these miniatures.
Oh, that is a portrait of George Wickham, son of my late master's steward. He's now gone into the army, but I'm afraid he's turned out very wild. And this is my master, and very like him. It was drawn at the same time as the other, about 8 years ago.
Oh, I've heard much of your master's fine person. It is a handsome face. But, Elizabeth, you can tell whether it is like or not.
Does the young lady know Mr. Darcy?
A little.
And do you not think him a very handsome gentleman, ma'am?
Yes, very handsome.
I'm sure I know none so handsome. There is a larger, finer picture of him at the end of the gallery.
Is he often here?
Not as often as I could wish, sir. But I dare say he may spend half his time with us.
If your master were to marry, you might see more of him.
Ah, yes, ma'am. But I'm sure I do not know when that will be. Nor do I know anybody who is worthy of him. If I were to go through the world, I could not meet with a better master. But I have always observed that they who are good-natured when children are good-natured when they grow up.
Oh, I'm sure his father was an excellent man.
Yes, ma'am, that he was indeed. And his son will be just like him. He is the best landlord and the best master that ever lived. Some people call him proud, but I'm sure I never saw anything of it. To my fancy, it is only because he does not rattle away like other young men.
I'm sure that I do not deserve such a eulogy, Mrs. Reynolds.
Mr. Darcy, sir, forgive me, but we did not expect you until tomorrow.
Miss Elizabeth. It's fed by the stream up in the hills.
Do you have the impression, dear husband, that they are better acquainted than either cares to admit?
I certainly have that impression. Look, there he goes. Straight under the bank.
If your uncle wishes, he may fish here every day. There are plenty of trout to be caught and no one to catch them.
I thank you, sir.
While he's fishing, perhaps your aunt and yourself would like to tour the park. I will place a phaeton and ponies at your disposal.
Thank you, sir.
Or perhaps you would rather go farther afield.
Sir, forgive me. You must think my coming here the most ill-judged thing in the world. I would never have ventured near Pemberley had I known that you were to be here.
I pray you not to speak in such a vein. I'm more than happy to see you here and make the acquaintance of your uncle and aunt. How are the other members of your family?
I left them perfectly well, thank you, sir.
The other members of my party will arrive here early tomorrow. Among them are some who will claim an acquaintance with you. Mr. Bingley and his sisters.
I shall be very happy to see them again.
There's also one other member who more particularly wishes to be known to you. Will you allow me, or do I ask too much, to introduce my sister to your acquaintance during your stay in Derbyshire?
Thank you very much.
I'm happy to have made your acquaintance, Miss Bennet. My brother has spoken much of you.
I hope he has not spoken such terms as to make you wish to avoid the acquaintance.
Oh, no, Miss Bennet. He finds you lovely and amiable. He is always saying so.
And I endorse everything he says. You know, Miss Darcy, in the county of Hertfordshire, Miss Bennet and her sisters are universally acknowledged to be without rival for their beauty, amiability, and wit.
I can believe that.
You overwhelm us, sir.
I speak only the truth, Miss Elizabeth. Tell me, Miss Elizabeth, it's been far too long since I had the pleasure of seeing you. We have not seen each other since we were all dancing together at Netherfield. Tell me, are all your sisters presently at Longbourn?
Presently, yes. But you know perhaps that my elder sister was in London for 3 months.
London? How could this be? How could this have escaped my knowledge?
That I have no idea, sir. I know that Jane corresponds with your sister.
Excuse me, I must ask her how this happened. Caroline,
Excuse
did
me,
you know
Charles,
that Miss Bennet spent 3 months in London this winter?
Charles, you astonish me. Mr. Gardner was just...
Please forgive me, Mr. Gardner. Now, Caroline, I would like an explanation.
Yeah, I must intervene here. I am as much at fault as your sister, if fault there was. We believe that we were acting in your best interests.
Miss Eliza Bennet, are not the Loamshire militia removed from Meryton? They must be a great loss to your family.
They are removed, Miss Bingley, and we manage very well without them.
I'm astonished to hear you say that. I always understood Mr. George Wickham was a great favourite of yours.
Georgina.
How could you be so cruel as to mention Wickham's name just as I was trying to forget him?
She could not have spoken intentionally. She knows nothing of what took place last summer.
Then why should she mention him?
Miss Bingley's conversation is the product of an empty mind. Pay no attention to it. Go. You must attend to your guests.
I'm told that Mr. Wickham left many substantial debts in Hertfordshire. Debts of honour which the colonel of his regiment had to discharge.
Plainly, you have more news from Hertfordshire than I have.
My informant also spoke of numerous intrigues among the families of the local tradesmen.
Brother, pray make her stop.
My dear, you will recall that we are expected at Lambton at 1 o'clock.
Miss Darcy, you have received us with the greatest kindness and consideration, and we are indebted to you for your hospitality, but we must not detain you longer.
It has been a pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir. Madam, Miss Bennet.
Ma. Shall we then expect you to dinner tomorrow?
Miss Bennet. Provincial nobodies. Self-sufficiency without consequence, impertinence without wit.
Do, brother, to protect your reputation more closely, Miss Darcy. I'm astonished at his allowing such people to cross the threshold of Pemberley. I cannot understand it.
Next, we shall find Miss Eliza Bennet running round the park like a gypsy.
Just as she did at Netherfield. I shall never forget it.
I thought she was charming. Mr. Darcy, never in my life have I seen anybody so much altered as is Miss Eliza Bennet. She's grown so brown and coarse.
She is a little tanned, but apart from that, I see no alteration in her.
I must confess, for my own part, I never could see any beauty in her. Her face is too thin.
Her complexion has no brilliancy.
Her nose wants character.
Her teeth are tolerable.
But not out of the common way. As for her eyes, which have sometimes been called so fine, I never could perceive anything extraordinary in them. I particularly recollect your saying one night after they had been dining at Netherfield, she a beauty. I would as soon call her mother a wit. But then she seemed to improve upon you. And at one time, I believe, you thought her rather pretty.
Yes. But that was only when I first knew her. For it is many months since I have considered her as one of the handsomest women of my acquaintance.
Kitty, what is there in that letter which makes your behavior, if such a thing is possible, sillier than usual?
Nothing, Papa.
Kitty, show me that letter.
It's nothing, Mamma. It's only from Lydia.
Oh, good. Show me her letter.
Kitty, do as you are told.
My dear Kitty, you will laugh when you know where I am gone. And I cannot help laughing myself when I think of your surprise. I am going to Gretna Green. You need not tell our mother and father of my going, for it will make the surprise the greater when I write to them and sign my name, Lydia Wickham.
Wickham?
What a good joke it will be. I can hardly write for laughing. I wish you would tell Sally to mend a great slit in my worked muslin. Goodbye. I hope you will drink to our good journey, your affectionate sister Lydia. Well, at least I shall have one daughter married.
And what makes you think that he means to marry her?
What?
She has no fortune to tempt him.
My father is right, I'm afraid, Mamma. Lizzie and I know far more of Mr. Wickham than we did last season.
It's all your fault, Mr. Bennet. If you'd allowed us all to go to Brighton, we could have protected her. My poor child!
Oh, my dear, I have been unwise. I thought that without a fortune, Lydia would be of less importance in Brighton than she has been here as a common flirt. She might indeed have learned of her own insignificance.
Papa, what is to be done?
Well, if necessary, I shall ride to Gretna Green myself and bring her back. In the meantime, I shall send for Elizabeth. Because, with the exception of myself, she is the only sane member of this household.
Oh, Lydia. Foolish, foolish Lydia.
Miss Elizabeth. What is the matter? Are you unwell?
No, I thank you. There's nothing the matter with me. I'm quite well. I'm only distressed at some dreadful news I have just received from Longmore. My youngest sister was left all her friends as alone, has thrown herself into the power of Mr. Wickham. You know him too well to doubt the rest. She has no money, no connections, nothing that can tempt him to marry her.
I am grieved indeed. Grieved. Shocked. But is it certain? Absolutely certain?
Oh, yes. They left Brighton together on Sunday night and were traced almost to London, but not beyond.
But what has been done? What attempt to recover her?
My father is gone to London, and Jane has written to me to beg my uncle's immediate assistance. We shall be off, I hope, in half an hour. But nothing can be done. I know very well nothing can be done.
Would to heaven that anything could be either said or done on my part to offer consolation to such distress. But be certain of one point. No one shall hear of this from my lips.
Be so kind as to apologize to your sister for us. Say that, well, urgent business has called us home again.
Be sure that whatever the outcome of this unhappy affair, my thoughts go with you on the road to Longbourn.
Never have I thought I could love him. Never have I thought that I could ever love him. And now, all love must be in vain.